Hey, welcome to the DBB channel. BT-07 Next Adventure full list is finally out and I'll be going through these cards. So these are my rather first impression and review of them. So starting off the Digitama first, we first do have Caprimon. When you have a Tamer in play, your Digimon get +1 KDP. Pretty generic stuff. I think I would still prefer the BT-5 one, or sorry, the BT-6 one, which is more stronger in my opinion and more generic for the red Digimons. Next would be the Bukamon. So once per turn, when you play a Digimon from one of your Digimon's evolution card, you gain 1 memory. So this is pushing towards the summoning from your Digisaur. So it's somewhere towards the Kaiser Neo. And I do remember having seen a Kaiser Neo upgraded version in this card list as well. So we'll be taking a look at that. So this does play towards that synergy. So it's quite nice. Next will be the Pusurimon. So when this card is trashed due to activating the Digiburst, one of your open Digimon get -1 KDP. So this combining with Wargroundmon is actually quite insane as it -5 KDP instead of the 4 KDP. So that's quite nice. So you can actually reach to 13 KDP with Slash Agemon if people are still playing that. Next will be the Koromon. So when attacking, you reveal the top card of your deck and place it at the top or bottom of your deck. So now they are pushing towards the green gacha. Basically, you actually look at the top card and evolve for free from level 5 to level 6, and they are pushing a lot of new level 6 that are actually 5 cost to evolve, so this is pretty nice and ensure consistency in some way. Next, we are actually looking at Dorimon. So this basically when one of your effect places a Digivolution card under this Digimon, you draw 1. So playing towards the X-NT body, sadly it is not an X-NT body himself, because I do remember seeing an option that actually helps synergize well. Next will be Kokomon. So when attacking, you're actually revealing the top 3 cards of your deck, trash 1 Tamer card among them, and place the remaining card at the bottom of your deck in any order. So to fill out the drop zone with Tamers, because there are actually quite a number of cards here in this set alone, they actually benefit you for having Tamers in the drop zone. And do realize that it's actually not saying just the purple Tamers here, it's actually a generic Tamer, so we might see some people coming out with very special lists to actually benefit this card. So starting off the red first, we actually have Toyagumon, just a generic 2 cost 3 KDP rookie. Rookie Rush maybe? I don't really see much use of the vaccine and the puppet, so it's just going to be a Rookie Rush card. Next, Flamemon. So this card is definitely good because firstly it's a hybrid, and on play, it does reveal the top 4 cards of your deck, adding 1 hybrid Susanomon or the Tamer among them to your hand. So if you do have you see at least 2 of them, you actually can pick it to hand, so it's basically like a Hubmon, very strong, and does have a very strong ESS skill as well, as you can get. Next, we'll be moving to Flamemon. So Flamemon does have a very strong on-play effect, revealing a top 4 card of your deck, adding 1 card with hybrid in its traits, Susanomon or the Tamer among them to your hand. Place the remaining cards at the bottom of your deck in any order. So it's basically a very strong searcher, and it does have a very strong ESS skill as well. Basically, you can play the Tamer from your hand without paying its memory cost upon deletion. So it does synergize quite well with the hybrid engine, especially when you're playing towards the Kaiser Greymon, when you don't really mind having drop zone filled with hybrids. Next, we do have the new Hubmon. So it's a very interesting Hubmon as you are playing towards the ESS effect. So attacking once per turn, so there's this limitation there, revealing a top 5 card of your deck, adding all cards with Systemon in their name among them to your hand, and placing the remaining to the bottom. So Systemon actually got an upgraded version this set as well, so we actually do have a total of 4 Systemon if I am not mistaken. So this does play towards it very nicely, I would say, but I'm not too sure whether they do have space to actually run it in the first place. So second, this is a Tasmon, 2 cost level 4 champion. When Digivolving, one of your Digimon gets 2 KDP for a turn. Not much use, I would say, given that it is not a hybrid or anything, so this is most likely a filler card. Next, this is definitely not a filler card, this is Burning Greymon, a hybrid version, so it's a hybrid. Upgraded version of the previous set in BT-4, sorry. So you actually can Digivolve this card from your hand onto one of the red Tamers as if the Tamer is level 3 Digimon for memory cost of 2, so that's very nice. And when Digivolving, if you have a hybrid in its trait or the Tamer in its Digivolution cards, you can actually delete one of your open Digimon with 4 KDP or less, so just a very generic good hybrid Digimon, I would say, adding to the hybrid count because you do definitely want to run a lot of hybrids to benefit Susanomon and Kaiser Greymon. Next, we do see a Vanilla introduced here, the level 5, 3 cost 10 KDP. Actually, for Red in general, they do run a lot of strong level 5, so I don't really see a deck whereby they'll run this vanilla over the rest, especially we'll be going through the next card I believe, which is the new Metal Greymon. So Metal Greymon does have a very strong on-play ability. If you have Tamer in play, you actually gain 2 memory, so it's basically a 5 cost only. But if you don't have, you can actually play 1 red Tamer for free. So if you do add the math quickly, if you do play a Tai Chi Tamer, so this will be an 11 memory for a cost of 7 only, so that's value. Next, the Digi-Evolve effect. When one of your opponent Digimon is deleted, you gain 1 memory. That's always very nice and especially can benefit cards like Victory Greymon, I would say. When Victory Greymon is 4 costs, then you can actually destroy 1 Digimon and make it 3 costs only, so there's a synergy right there. Or it can actually benefit quite a lot of things actually, because like cards like Sharpmon, you can actually kill one of your opponent Digimon and then when you blitz the same turn, you can kill one of your opponent Digimon and then attack and then still on your turn, and you can actually go for Omnimon in the same turn, so that's very nice. Next, Eldamon, and this is one of the cards that actually I remember very fondly of because of the Digivolve effect, but let's look at the main effect first. So when one of your Digimon with the Tamer card is Digivolution cards Digivolve into this card in your hand, reduce the memory cost of Digivolution by 2, so basically just a 1 cost if you do evolve on top of a hybrid, so that's nice. And if a hybrid is, if you Digivolve and there's a hybrid in its Digivolution cards, you gain 4k DP, so it's a 12k DP attacker, so that's nice. But the ESS effect is what you're playing more towards, because when your Digimon have a hybrid or 10 warriors in its trait, it doesn't activate security effects. So this keeps security option, or rather the security control decks in check, so that's very nice. I'm very glad that Red doesn't have any more, I mean they don't really have to rely on delicate plan anymore. Next, we do see Avenge Kidmon. Man, this card is just straight counter 3 Musketeer in my opinion when I first read it. So when playing this card from your hand, reduce the memory cost by 1 for each option card in yours and your opponent trash, and on play return all cards with 3 Musketeer in their traits and all option cards from both player trashes to the bottom of the owner's deck, and if 7 or more are returned using this effect, dealing one of your opponent Digimon with 3 Musketeer in his trait or AKDP or less. If you guys pay attention to the text carefully, it is really just straight up countering 3 Musketeer, as Build Starmon do really want that drop zone count to actually make it cost 0 potentially, and if you do return those cards to the deck, you basically make it 12 cost again, and that's gonna hurt. Next, Kaiser Greymon, the one of the first SR in this set. So it does have Blitz, so that's nice, and it does have a very nice second skill. When this Digimon is blocked, you actually can underspend it, so basically you can stand again, and then you gain 1 memory for each card that has hybrid in its Digisource. So basically if you do go for the Blitz attack and opponent somehow does go block it, you can actually potentially gain 5 memory, and how do you even get 5 hybrid Digisource? We'll go through that later with the new Tamer. Next, Chaos Dramon, man, Mugendra getting support immediately is just something so, it feels so surreal in my opinion. So basically your Machine Dramon can Digivolve into this card for just 1 cost, so that's very nice. Instead of this 4 cost, which is painful, but this is for the level 5. And when Digivolving, you can actually place 1 red or black level 5 with Cyborg Initiates from your hand or trash on top of this Digivolution card to delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 6k DP or less for each level 5. So you can potentially bot your opponent if you do have Mugendra. So the old Machine Dramon in the EX01, you can actually have up to 5 Digimons under the source, and then you evolve on top of this, so that's still it'll be a 6 Cyborg in the soul, and then you can just kill 6k DP Digimons just like that. So imagine opponent has 6 blockers somehow and they just all die in the same turn. Now moving on to the blue side of things, we do have Gubamon. It does have an on-play effect. When played from the Digivolution cards, you can draw 2. So you must bring it out from the Digisource, then you can actually draw 2. So it does hinge as well with the BT-03 Leopardmon, and you can play with the new Kaiser Neo, and of course the new support in this set. Next, we do see Shrubimon, a new Shrubimon, which does have a similar effect to the Flamemon which we talked about. So instead of picking up the Red Tamer, we do pick up the Koji Tamer here. But the deletion effect is also the same, just that you can actually play only the Koji Tamer. Next, we do see a level 4 6k DP, but with just a 4 cost hardcore. I do see people running this, I guess, because of the cheap hardcore, but then other than that, there's 7k DP already, so I wouldn't know why people will play this. Other set for the hardcore value. Moving on, we actually talk about Kumamon. Now, Kumamon is basically a Lobomon clone, but with a slightly 1k less DP. And it does have a very strong effect of trashing one of your opponent ESS from the bottom of your opponent Digimon, so it can play quite well with Hexplamon, so that's something to think about. Next, we'll be talking about Kendo Garurumon. So Kendo Garurumon is the same thing as the Burning Greymon that we saw earlier. So you can actually evolve on top of the Tamer for just 2 costs. And it does have a very strong effect whereby if you do have a hybrid in its trait or the Tamer, you can actually gain jamming. So sudden jamming is always nice and can actually synergize well with Impedramon maybe. I'm not too sure, maybe I'm too hopeful for that. Next, we do see Kurikamon. Sorry for butchering these names. You actually can evolve on top of Tamer for just 2 costs as well. So Blue actually getting 2 of these versions. And if you do have the hybrid or the Tommy Tamer, you actually can choose one of your opponent Digimon with no Digivolution cards and then they can't attack or block until the end of next turn. So I'm very liking this support because they do synergize well with Hex Blomon. So that's nice. Next, Daipanmon. So Daipanmon does have an interesting effect, I would say, anti-rookie rush. So upon evolving for each Digimon your opponent have no Digivolution cards, you can actually draw 1 for each card. So if your opponent has 3 Digimon in the field that has no Digivolution cards, you can actually draw 3, that's very nice. And if these cards have a hybrid in its trait, none of your level 3's opponent Digimon can actually attack. So even Lucemon. So that's very nice. Actually, it's even a stronger Hex Blomon to an extent, or the level 5 which I've forgotten the name but I'll be putting the image there so you guys can compare, you get the idea. Next will be Beowulfmon. Now Beowulfmon isn't exactly the greatest, firstly because it doesn't have an ESS skill, but let's take a look at the skill itself. So if you're one of your Digimon with a Tamer card, its Digivolution cards evolve into this card, you can actually make it just 1 cost level. So that's nice. And when attacking, you may return 1 card with hybrid in its traits from these Digivolution cards to your hand to return one of your opponent level 4 Digimon or lower to your opponent's hand. So basically, it's just a bounce blocker or rookie, not doing too much, I would say. So I'm not too sure why they don't put an ESS for this. Maybe Blue does have some sort of new synergy that I'm not looking at yet. Sorry. It will be this first, Garurumon. So basically this is just a clone of the Metal Greymon that we talked about earlier, just a 5 cost level 5 with a free Tamer play if you haven't played Tamer already. And once per turn, it does gain memory through just being unsuspended. So this synergies well with Impedramon, All Force, so cards like that. So, but I'm not too sure whether we will see play in those decks because of the space. But it does have a very strong on-play effect after all, so we might see people running it actually. Next will be the Wamon. So this is the card basically I was talking about, the Kaiser Nail support. Now you can actually play one level 3 Digimon card from one of your Digisource as another Digimon without paying its memory cost. If you do, you may place 1 blue Digimon card from your hand at the bottom of one of your Digivolution Digimon, basically just chuck in 1 soul. So this actually encourages you to actually go towards Kaiser Nail, I would say, because you can actually chuck in let's say a Zudomon into the soul and then using Kaiser Nail to pull it out and then you get a free Zudomon out of nowhere. But then let's take a look at the 8 cost hardcore though. So very likely you're gonna pass turn with this card anyway, so not too sure how the combo is gonna extend from there. Next, King Wamon. So basically a Wamon's evolution. So when attacking, you actually can play 1 level 3 Digimon card or 1 Wamon from this Digivolution card as another Digimon without paying its memory cost. So going to the same team of the Kaiser Nail support. And when you play a Digimon from one of your sources, you can actually bounce one of your opponent level 4 lower to the opponent's hand. So you actually can evolve on top of the Wamon, swings, come out Wamon come out at level 3, putting 1 more Digisource. And suddenly you are doing a bunch of summoning and bouncing. So that's very nice. The next SR I'll be talking about will be Magna Garurumon. Now, these have 2 effects actually when evolving and when attacking, but it's only once per turn. You can return 1 card with hybrid in its trait from this Digivolution source to return 1 of your opponent Digimon with the same level as the return card. So if you bounce a level 5, you bounce a level 5 on top of your opponent. I mean on your opponent's side of the field. So that's nice, I guess. You can actually put a level 6 as well. So that's nice, but how do you even get the hybrid level 6 into your Digisource? Or is there even a level, oh sorry, there's a level 6 hybrid, sorry. So to put it there, you can actually use a Tamer. We'll be talking about a Tamer later as well. And once per turn, when an effect adds a card to your hand, so in its own effect, you can actually unsuspend 1 of your Digimon. So it doesn't have to be this Digimon. And if you guys haven't watched Akimiya video yet, so basically he combined this with Ancient Greymon and it packs a punch. Next will be the Ancient Mega Torimon. So when evolving for each card with Hybrid is trait, you can trash one of your opponent's Digivolution card from each of your opponent Digimon. Same the Azulong Hexballmon support. Then for each Digimon your opponent doesn't have any Digisource, you can draw 2. So that's a huge draw power. If you ask me, you can potentially draw 6 in one turn very easily because 3 Digimons on the field without Digisource is very simple. And you can actually play one level 4, blue level 4 hybrid. Blue level 4 or lower hybrid from your hand upon dying. So this is a very generic effect. Next we'll be moving on to yellow. First up we do have Eosmon. Now Eosmon is a Digiburst support, I would say, given its effect. Given that when you do Digiburst this card away, you can actually return to your owner's hand, which is a very generic effect introduced as early as BT-04 if I'm not wrong. So there's that. Next we do have Pulsemon. So Eosmon and Pulsemon are getting their evolution line in this set as well, so that's very interesting. But this has a very strong effect actually when attacking once per turn. If you do have exactly 3 security cards, you actually gain 2 memory. And restricting yourself to 3 security cards isn't very hard with Pulsemon given their support. Next we do have Bugmon, which is a very cool looking artwork, I would say. When you do have 3 or more security cards, your Digimon gains blocker. So you guys see where this is going to. Next we do have Falmon with a Digiburst 2 skill, making one of your opponent Digimon to gain security attack -2. So a pretty generic effect, I would say. I wouldn't know people who actually run this. I know people who actually run this because of the hardcore value as well as the strong E as a skill, making your Lord Nightmon actually potentially a blocker if you ask me. Next we do have Kazemon. So basically this is what Shine Greymon has been looking forward to since set 2. Making your Tamers to become a level 4 Digimon. Next we do have Zephramon. So basically this is the one with the most effects. Basically 2 cost evolution on top of the Tamer. And if you do have the Hybrid or the Tamer in the soul, you actually give your security Digimon plus 3 KDP until the end of your opponent's next turn. Now for yellow, I would say their hybrid effects are the most tame one, I would say. Tame as in not exactly very good because they just buff your security Digimons. And jamming exists, and sometimes even overpowered Digimon such as Eosmon exists. So I wouldn't really see much use of the 3k DP extra unless I am wrong. Next we do have Bugmon, the Pulsemon line, when with an ESS skill, when your opponent attacks a player and you have 3 or more security cards unsuspended Digimon. So basically you can make your potential blocker 2 blocker in one turn. So that's nice. Next we do have Jetsilphymon. Same thing if you do evolve to just a 1 cost evolution. If you do evolve on top of a hybrid Digimon or a Tamer, you basically recover 1. Oh, that's nice. This is actually very nice. But I wouldn't know if people actually play towards the hybrid / Tamer version of yellow. Maybe Shine Greymon, maybe. Yeah, I mean Shine Greymon will actually abuse this quite hard. Next we do have Stealthymon. So very long effect, I would say. So upon evolving, if a Digimon has 1 evolution card, you can place up to 2 level 4 yellow Digimon from your hand at the bottom of this Digimon, and then draw 1 for each Digimon card you place. So you can actually just soul charge 2 from your hand. That's nice. Next, when this card is trashed due to activating this Digimon Digiburst, one of your Digimon gains security attack +1. So it's basically a one-off skill. And I would say this is going to be benefiting the level 6 we'll be talking about later, which is now the Rasengan. Man, this card is just looking very, very cool. So upon evolving this card from your hand, the memory cost of the Digivolution is actually equal to the number of cards in your security stack. So if you have 0, the memory is 1. So it can actually potentially just be a 2 cost if you have 2 security only. And once per turn digits up to 4, so you do realize why they will allow you to actually soul charge from your hand. You can actually choose one of your opponent Digimon, get -3k DP for each card you Digiburst this turn. So you actually can make it Q level 6 with 4 Digiburst. Even though you can trash Digiburst 4 and then -12k DP. So that's quite nice, I would say. But this is one of the SI, if I'm not wrong. Yeah. I'm not too sure how good this is, but we shall see as we playtest more. Next will be what I deem it as one of the strongest one actually. So upon evolving, if you have 3 or more security cards, you gain 2 memory, so just be a 3 cost level 6, nothing special there. But then if you do have 2 or fewer security cards, you can actually recover 1 until you have 3 security stack. So can you imagine if you have 0 security stack and then you just evolve to this and suddenly you heal 3 with just 5 costs? Man, that's insane. And then if you have 3 or more security cards, you can actually gain security attack +1 just because you can. So that's nice. Next, we do have Ancient Kazemon. So you do realize every color has an Ancient Kaze, rather Ancient Hybrid Digimon here. So during your opponent's turn, while a card with Hybrid is in its source, you can actually all your Digimon get +4 KDP. So embracing that DP plus again. So this 4 KDP might be stackable with the 3K one, making a +7 KDP and making even your Agumon is able to kill level 4, level 5, which is pretty nice if you ask me. But I'm not too sure whether this Digimon will actually stick. Next, we do see a same audition effect, allowing you to play a level 4 lower hybrid Digimon from your hand without paying its memory cost. So now let's move on to green. So starting off with Eosmon. So on play, actually review 1 green Digimon card from your hand and place it on top of your deck. So same thing with the Digitama that we mentioned earlier, pushing for that gacha Digimon playstyle for green. So I'm very happy they're actually doing this because green has actually been lacking of support in a sense, and we are finally seeing these cards actually coming together. Next, we do see Betamon on play, revealing the top 3 cards of the deck. Add 1 level 4 green Digimon or green Tamer among them to your hand. So this is basically the hybrid searcher for you guys. And if you guys do realize these are all rookies on play effect, so imagine Agumon is still alive, man, green will be so insane with so much value. Next, we do play, or rather we do see Totomon. Now Totomon has a very nice ESS skill, supporting that gacha Digimon playstyle once again. So when attacking, you actually can reveal 1 green Digimon card from a hand and place it on top of your deck to have this Digimon gain plus 3k DP. And the 3k DP is very nice because imagine you do put a green Impodramon on top of the deck, you swing at your opponent Digimon, and then you gain 3k DP, then evolving to the green Impodramon, having that 12k body to start with, so it'll be a 15k DP attack swing just like that. Next, we do see Beatomon, which is easily one of the most handsome card in Digimon Frontier in my opinion. So basically it's just the evolution hybrid Digimon for 2 costs, and it does have a very strong effect. I would say upon evolution, you actually reveal top 5 cards of the deck, add 1 hybrid and Tamer from them to your hand. So that's a very nice bonus that other colors actually did not get, especially yellow. Next, the same one. So basically, 2 cost. If you evolve on top of Tamer, it's just a 2 cost. So when you evolve and the Digimon, where the Digisource is a hybrid or the Tamer, you can actually suspend one of your Digimon with 6k DP or less. So this target is the blocker. So you can actually evolve to this and then swing at your opponent for game. So that's very clutch. Next, we do finally see a champion 8k for green. We recently see it in yellow in terms of the Monkeymon. So that's very nice. They are introducing these champions, which is very strong. I would say 8k DP is insane. Next, another gacha sort of support. When attacking, you actually reveal the top 3 card of your deck and evolve a green level 6 among them without paying its memory cost. So we do have the Jagamon, and so we now have 2 very nice level 5 with the same effect. Next, another vanilla with a level 5 7k DP. Not exactly sure why you run this, especially because when green has so much stronger level 5 now. Even the hardcore cost of 6 isn't exactly very nice as well. So we'll be most likely giving that card a pass. Next, we'll be talking about Rhino Gabatorimon, the 1 cost evolving on top of a hybrid or Tamer one. When attacking, if a card with hybrid or Insectoid in its trait is in this Digivolution, in this Digimon Digivolution cards, you actually can evolve into a Digimon card with Insectoid and 10 Warrior in its trait for a cost of just 3. So 10 Warriors in this case will be the Digimon we'll be talking about later, so we'll be going to that. Next, we do have Saber Leomon. When evolving, this Digimon get 5k DP for a turn, making it a 15k DP Digimon, man. Insane. And because it is part of the Leomon family, it does have an audition effect, gaining 2 memory when it dies. Okay. Interesting, I would say. Now we do have Dinorexmon, which does have a similar effect to Mega Gagomon, if I would say, because it does have a Digivolution effect. Digivolving effect, which is suspend all your opponent Digimon, then the Digimon can't unsuspend during your next unsuspend phase, which is their next turn. But this does have a very nice 1k DP bonus for each of the opponent Digimon that is suspended instead of the +1 security attack which Mega Gagomon have. Next, which is one of the nicest artwork I would say, although it's a bit messy, but it's the 10 warrior for the Digimon just now we were talking about. So once per turn, when one of your Digimon with 10 warrior or hybrid in his trait delete an opponent Digimon in battle and survives, you can just trash your top card of the security stack, your opponent's security stack, so that's nice and does have the same on deletion effect, playing that green level 4 lower card in its hybrid, in its traits from your hand without paying its memory cost. Lastly, we do have the SR of our green, which is the Eosmon Woman. On evolving, you can actually suspend one of your opponent Digimon, then gain 1 memory for each of your opponent suspended Digimon. So very likely it will be a 4 cost or 3 cost at most, because opponent won't really flood the board unless it's fighting against Systemon, but then again they won't be suspended. But then now this is a very strong effect, so all of your opponent Digimons gain. During your turn, you must trash 1 card in your hand to unsuspend this Digimon. So in terms of Jasmine, they must discard card to actually withstand, but it doesn't really hurt them too much. I wouldn't know whether this card is exactly very good, but with the new cheap gacha evolutions, maybe this might see play. Next, we are finally moving on to black, which is one of my personal favorite color, starting off with Dorumon. So it does have an on-play effect to reveal the top 3 cards of the deck, revealing the Tamer and the X antibody. If you do see them, you actually get them to hand, and then placing the remaining cards at the bottom of the deck in any order. So this is basically the generic searcher for rookie. But it does have a very nice Digivolve effect, which is the ESS. So when one of your effect plays a Digivolution card under this Digimon, you gain 1 memory. So how do you do that? We do see in the level 5 and level 6, which we'll be discussing later. First up will be Monitamon. On play, revealing a top 3 card of the deck, adding 1 card with Nightmon or Daily Xmon in its name among them to your hand. So another generic rookie searcher, so they are really introducing these cards, so sort of encouraging you to actually hard play stuff. So first up, the Skull Nightmon. So its effect is when attacking, you actually trash all your Digimon Digisource from your Daily X1 and place it at the bottom of this Digivolution card to Digivolve this Digimon into a Dark Nightmon. The Dark Nightmon is a very strong card, I would say a sticky level 5, which will be explaining why later. But it does have a very nice ESS as well. When your Digimon has a name of Nightmon or Bagramon in its name, you gain security attack +1. So that's nice, but sadly we don't have any Bagramon released in this set. So next will be Daily Xmon, which we have talked about earlier. So it does have a very strong on-play effect, revealing top 5 cards of the deck, adding 2 cards with Nightmon in your name, adding to your hand. So this is the generic searcher you want to play towards too, and have a very nice ESS effect to give +2k DP. Next, we do see the Crumblemon, the 2-cost Tamer hybrid Digimon for black. Finally, we do see it, but I'm not sure why they never actually give any effect for this. Slightly disappointing, I would say. And of course, you must give black their blocker. And it's 3-cost Evo to even do that. So, man, it's not the best, I would say. Next, we do see Dorugamon, the X antibody archetype. So during your opponent turn, if you do have another Digimon in play with X antibody in its trait, or a card with X antibody in its trait is in this Digivolution card, you actually gain blocker. So very generic. And all turn, when this Digimon has X antibody in its trait, you do gain +1k DP. And let's not forget that Alphamon is X antibody. Next, we do see Dark Nightmon, which is the one that I say very sticky, because you do have on-play ability to put 1 Skull Nightmon and or 1 Daily Xmon from a hand or trash in this Digivolution source. So all turns when this Digimon is deleted, you can actually play both Skull Nightmon and Daily Xmon from this Digisource, suspended without paying the memory cost, so that's very nice. So basically whenever this die, you come out 2 more Digimons, and then if you do notice that these two do have a very nice synergy to themselves either way, or rather you can give Nightmon to become a 9k DP and 2 security attack, which is fairly decent. Next, you do see Doru Greymon supporting that X antibody. So you actually can place on evolution, you can place 1 black card with X antibody in its trait from a hand at the bottom of this Digimon evolution effect. Digisource. prevent effects from deleting it or reducing its DP until the end of your opponent's next turn. So it doesn't stop you from getting Cognitor's Breath, so it's just something to take note. But it does do very well against AD control, and it does helps you to survive that one turn so that you can actually evolve to a level 6 next turn to do more damage. Now its ESS is quite straightforward, giving security attack +1 if he has X antibody in his trait. Next is the main card of why you're actually chucking in so much X antibody to your soul is because of this. So for your turn, for each card with X antibody in its trait, this Digimon gains +1k DP, so that's nice. But once per turn, you can actually place one, or when attacking, sorry, you can actually place one card with antibody in its trait from your hand at the bottom of the Digimon evolution to actually delete up to 2 of your opponent's Digimon with play cost less than or equals to this Digimon Digivolution card. So you guys can see how you don't want to stack up so much Digisource. I've actually counted, you actually on average will be about 5 to 6, so you can actually delete only level 6 unless you really stack them up. Then you will see play, and there's actually a secret synergy, I would say, and that's actually chucking in your Alphamons to the soul and then playing cards like Kaiser Neo to actually pull that Alphamon out. Next, you do see the Ancient Volcanomon, another, I would say, sad card for black. It's just a generic de-evolve tree on your opponent's Digimon when evolving it. And then when deleted, you can actually play one black level 4 or lower with hybrid straight from your hand. Not the most exciting, I would say. Next, we do talk about purple. So firstly, Eosmon, a rookie with 5k DP with 3 cost hardcore and 1 cost evolution. Not sure why you will play this over the 2 cost 5k DP one, so I think it's just a filler card. Next, we do have Lockbond. When you play a Tamer, you gain 1 memory. So you guys can see what this new purple is playing towards, which is the Tamer heavy playstyle, I would say. Next, I actually like this card a lot, which is the Eosmon Scatter Mode. So on deletion, you actually draw 3 cards, then you trash 2 cards. So you fill out your draw zone rather quickly, and you just remember that this is just a 4 cost hardcore, which is super fine to actually hardcore it and swing at your opponent's security to actually let it die. Next, we do see Wendigomon. So upon evolving, you reveal the top 5 cards of your deck, trash all Tamer among them, place the remaining cards at the bottom of your deck. So you do want to set up the drop zone of Tamers, and you're gonna know why later, because you actually benefit so much with having drop zone full of Tamer. So its ESS is once per turn. When you play a Tamer, you draw 1, so you do have already gain memory with Lockmon and then drawing 1 with this. So another generic 2 cost evolution for hybrid. Lowimon. So unfortunately, this card isn't black, although it does have the black aura. Next, we do have Eosmon. So when you trash this card from your hand using one of the effect, if Eosmon Scatter Mode is in your trash, you can play this card without paying its memory cost. So a free Digimon is always good. And it does benefit from Titanmon, so you can actually have a sudden level 4 on the field, which is very nice. And this has a very strong effect as well, which does have plus 2k DP for every Eosmon Scatter Mode in your drop zone. So if you do have 4, it's basically plus 8k DP, which is 13k Eosmon on the field. Next, the generic, or rather the one with the effect for hybrid evolution, Kaiser Leomon. It's just basically vengeance, sudden vengeance, which is very nice, as your opponent wouldn't really prepare for it, unlike the Devimon clone, which they would have to anticipate when you do see a rookie on the field. Next, you do see Antelamon. So when you do evolve, you can actually play one purple Tamer card with a play cost of 3 or less from your trash. So this is where you get to play your free Tamers when you mill them out. So there are quite a bit of Tamers. This is one new one released in this set, as well as Mimi from the old set. Next, we do have Rinimon, which is the generic 1 cost evolution. If you do evolve on top of a hybrid or Tamer, on deletion, if a card with hybrid in its trait is in this Digimon source, you can actually play one purple Tamer card from your trash once again, with that benefit of having Tamer in your trash. Next, we do have Orochimon. So when you trash this card in your hand, you do draw 1 card, so it's supporting that Titanmon playstyle. And does have a very nice ESS effect. When you trash 1 card, or rather when you're attacking, you can actually trash 1 card from your hand to actually gain 1 memory. And 1 memory can actually do quite a lot. Next, we do see Nighthawkmon, not in the green version, so this is slightly less traumatic. When you trash this card in your hand using one of your effect, you gain 1 memory, so that's nice. And when Digivolving, when you trash 1 card in your hand to actually delete one of your open level 4 low Digimon. So it's basically like Ogremon effect in this card alone. Next, we do have Ancient Sphinxmon, which is a very nice artwork there. So when Digivolving, you actually delete one of your Digimon with 10 warriors or hybrid in its trait to delete one of your open Digimon whose level is less than or equal to the deleted Digimon level. So you can actually delete a level 6, which is himself, but I'm not too sure when or why you will do that, unless you are facing lethal maybe. And the second effect, which is basically the generic on deletion effect, playing the level 4 or lower hybrid Digimon from hand. Next, the Cherubimon, which is why you are going to play so many Tamers in your deck. By Digivolving, you may play one purple Tamer from your trash while playing its memory cost. Then for each Tamer you have in play, you actually delete one of your open level 4 or lower Digimon. And on deletion, for each Tamer you have in play, you actually can play one level 3 Digimon card from your trash while playing its memory cost. So in this case, Lucemon. This card is just screaming Lucemon. Now moving on to the white stuff now. Mimon. So on play, you can actually play one Tamer card with an inherited effect from your hand without paying memory cost. So that's very nice because you do have 4 cost Tamer in this game as well. So you actually can net off that one more value in terms of memory. And all turns, which is the insane one I would say. When one of your Digimon with a Tamer in its Digivolution card is destroyed, you can actually play one Tamer card from your hand. From your trash, from your paying its memory cost. So basically, when your Tamer Digimon your hybrid Digimon does die, you can actually have this on the field and actually gain the Tamer back, so you don't legit lose anything. So that's nice. Next up, moving on, we will be talking about Pokemon. On play, you can review the top 5 cards of your deck, adding 1 card with hybrid or 10 warrior in its trait and 1 Tamer card among them to your hand. So it's a generic searcher. And when you do go for the evolution, you actually gain 2 memory. So you know, this is just screaming Tamer support, and this is what the main focus of this set is. Next, we do have the Systemon evolutions, which is interesting given that Jesmon is getting support. So on play, you actually can put one Systemon blank from a hand or trash to the bottom of this Digivolution card to recovery +1. So Jesmon has suddenly have recovery cards. Then, and on deletion, you can return 1 card with Jesmon, Heartmon, or Systemon in its name other than Systemon Blanc Awaken from your trash to your hand. Man, Jesmon is getting busted. Next, we do have Systemon Noir Awaken, same thing, but you actually can instead delete one of your open Digimon with play cost 5 or less, which is usually the Tamers, the blockers, which are usually the 2 cost blockers. Next, we do have Eosmon, and we suddenly have an Eosmon support out of nowhere, which is to give all your other Eosmon +1 KDP, and on deletion, you can actually play one Eosmon from your hand without paying its memory cost, which is very nice. Truly Eosmon support. Moving on to I would say the last portion of this card list. First up will be the Phoenixmon. So this is a promo. When Digivolve, you can actually have, if you have a Tamer in play, this Digimon gains security attack +1 for the turn. And once per turn, during your turn, when this Digimon is blocked, you can trash the top card of your opponent's security stack. So it's either your opponent takes 2 damage or 1 damage. So that's a very nice skill, I would say. Next will be Wargreymon. With a Tamer in play, you can actually evolve, delete one of your opponent Digimon with 13k DP or more. So it's like a Omimon killer. This is very nice, and when attacking, you can delete one of your opponent Digimon with like 4k DP or less. So very decent effect, I would say, introduced in these promo cards. Metagurumon, if you have a Tamer in play, you draw 2, and during your opponent's turn, this Digimon can't be attacked. So can't be attacked allows you to actually potentially evolve to level 7 next turn, which is very nice. Next, we do have Vightmon. Now Vightmon does have a Digivolve effect. When you have a Tamer in play, up to 3 of your opponent Digimon with no Digivolution cards can't attack until the end of your opponent next turn, so it's like a mini Hexplamon. And when attacking, you can return one of your opponent Digimon with no Digivolution cards to your opponent's hand. So this is a very nice blue card, I would say, and it can synergize well with Hexplamon decks. Next, we do have Orphanimon. So when Digivolving, you can choose, if you have a Tamer in play, one of your opponent Digimon gets -5k DP for a turn. So it's a slightly weaker Slash Digimon, but when attacking, one of your opponent Digimon and all of your opponent's security Digimon -2k DP for the turn. So effectively, the 7k DP minus. And if you have Wargreymon, this is potentially 11k DP minus. Next, we do have Seraphimon. So if you have a Tamer in play, you can actually heal one, so that's very generic of a Seraphimon. But on deletion, you heal one as well. So that's the difference between this one and the BT one. And next we have Hercules Capitorimon. If you have Tamer in play, suspend one of the open Digimon. And when this Digimon deletes an open Digimon in battle and survives, you gain 1 memory. So a very generic green skill, I would say. Next we do have Eosmon. You can hit Digisorption 2, so you basically download 2. And if you have a Tamer in play, one of your open Digimon can't attack or block until the end of the next turn when you evolve. So that's pretty nice. 2-cost evolution in that sense. Next we are finally talking about the Tamers. So the first one will be Takuya Kanbara. So it allows you to actually warp evolve to your Kaiser Greymon by having 5 cards in your drop zone that have hybrid. Putting under this card, you can actually evolve it to a Kaiser Greymon, and the Kaiser Greymon does have bleed, so this synergizes very well. And let's not forget about the ESS skill, which allows you to get plus 2k DP. And if this Digimon have 10k DP or more, it gets critical attack plus 1, making your Kaiser Greymon 2 crit out of nowhere. Next we do have Tommy. So same security effect, and on play, trash 3 Digimon cards from the bottom of one of the opponent Digimon. So nice Hex Buff support once again, and having a ESS skill for your Digimon. When you attack, you actually choose one of your opponent's Digimon. There's no Digi source, you actually can attack or block for 1 turn, so that's nice. Next we do have Koji. So basically the same thing as the red one, but instead of the trash, you actually do it from your hand. And when an effect adds a card to your hand, you actually gain 1 memory, then this Digimon can't be blocked for the turn. So actually pretty nice for blue, especially when blue have so much hand power. It only makes sense for this to be from their hand instead of the drop zone. Next we do have Dizo, which is the yellow Tamer here. On play, you can actually search your security stack for 1 card with hybrid or 10 warriors in trade and review it at your hand. If you added a card to your hand, recovery plus 1. Not much effect, I would say. I'm not sure why people will even play this. I think TK is still the best Tamer for yellow in my opinion. Next we do have JP Shibayama. So when you do evolve from this, evolve a hybrid Digimon on top of this Tamer, you actually can reduce the evolution cost by 1, making your hybrid Digimon just 1 cost, which is very nice. And the ESS skill just gives piercing, which is a very typical green stuff. Next we do have Kota Domoto. So this is the Tamer to play if you are playing towards the X antibody, allowing you to reveal the top 4 cards of your deck, adding 1 card with X antibody to your hand. So basically like a Davis, and it does guarantee 3 memory, so that's nice. Next we do have Koichi Kimura. So same thing, security effect, and on play you can draw 1 and then trash 1 card from your hand. So it does play towards that Titanmon variant, and then on deletion, you do gain 1 memory. So basically your Digimon that evolve on top of this, when he dies, he does gain 1 memory. So that's very nice. Now we have more memory boosts to actually play after this set. The first one will be the Flame Memory Boost. So the memory boosts are actually very similar in terms of effect, but only the main effect will change. In this case, it just gives one of the Digimon security attack plus 1. But given that it's 3 costs, I'm not too sure when it will be useful, but the delay effect is always nice. Next we do have Fire Drake Strike. Choose one of your Digimon with hybrid in its trait, delete one of your opponent Digimon with DP less than or equal to the chosen Digimon DP. So in this case, for the Kaiser Greymon, it will be easily 13k DP with the Tamer, so you can just kill off a 13k. Basically a Gaia Force in its own. And it does have a very nice security effect. Basically you can play 1 Tamer from your hand or trash without paying its memory cost, but not activating the main effect, which is a bit weird. Next we do have this somewhat 3 Musketeer support, which is the Giga Storm. Deleting 2 of your opponent Digimon 8k DP or less, and you can activate its security effect. Activate the main effect in the security check. Next we do have Blue Hawaii there, which is a very cute name. And for that turn, you want your Digimon get plus 3k DP, it can also attack your unsuspended Digimon. Basically opponent's unsuspended Digimon with no Digisource. Very nice, I would say, giving you the option to actually control the field. Next we do have Starlight Velocity, which does benefit quite well to what the Blue Hybrid is playing, which is to actually, you may play 1 Tamer card or 1 Digimon card with hybrid is straight from one of your Digimon evolution source as another Tamer or Digimon. So basically it's like a Kaiser Neo, but a Tamer friendly one. And the security effect is to actually play the Tamer from the hand or trash instead of activating the main effect. Now this card is what I'm talking about. It's basically Kaiser Neo buff 2.0. Choosing 2 Digimons from your Digisource and play as though they are just a Digimon itself. So it synergizes well with such cards like Alphamon. Yes, I said it, Alphamon. Or the control massive stuff, and Tidal Wave is definitely a 4th. And let's not forget, it's just a common, man. They're just pushing it at this point. Next, we do have Ultra Turbulence, which is just to choose one of your open Digimon and all of your open Security Digimon minus 3 KDP. I still don't really see the point of these cards yet, until I'm convinced maybe to help security control, or sorry, Rookie Rush, so technically you're giving your rookies plus 3 KDP, I wouldn't know. Next, we do have Electric Rush. One of your Digimon get plus 3 KDP for a turn, then if you have 3 security cards, unsuspend one of your Digimon. Now, if you do see why, this card actually does very well for the Eosmon lineup, given that you do really usually have 3 security cards either way. So you can actually make your Eosmon swing twice with the security attack +1 for Wombo combo. Next, you do have Collilis Blast. So when using this card from hand, its memory cost is equal to the number of cards in your security stack, so it can be potentially 1 or even 0. One of your open Digimon get minus 3 KDP for a turn, then one of your Rasenmon gets security attack +1. So it does benefit towards that Rasenmon card that we have talked about earlier. Next, we do have Thunder Laser. If you have Digimon with Hybrid or Tamer and is straight in play, suspend one of your open Digimon. A very generic Flower Cannon, I would say. And honestly speaking, I'll prefer Flower Cannon over this, but maybe there's some sort of combo I'm missing out here with the 1 cost. Next, we do have Dino Memory Boost, another 4 Memory Boost here, but in this case, it's just to suspend one of your open Digimon. So, pretty interesting, but I would still prefer the Green Memory Boost, allowing the search top 4 for Digimons. Next, we do have Mugen. Suspend one of your open Digimon that Digimon doesn't unsuspend during your opponent's suspend phase, so basically it's like a Mega Gagumon in a spell. Next, we do have Metal Cannon, so which I have talked about earlier. So basically this is just the draw engine for your X antibody deck. So you choose one of your Digimon with X antibody in its trade and draw one for each of the Digivolution card source. So basically if you do have 3, you do draw 3. I mean if you do have 3, so you draw 3. So that's very nice for just 2 costs. Next, you do have Pride Memory Boost, a new memory boost for black, and it does pretty well for the Nightmon variant. So basically you can actually play a Nightmon from among the top 3 and then you mill the rest. So you do have one to have the drop zone for your Nightmon deck, so that's very nice. And of course the delay effect of gaining 2 memory. Next, you do have Brave Metal, which is one of the cards that boosts antibody. So you can delete one of your open Digimon with play cost of 6 or less, and if you have Digimon with 5 or more Digivolution cards and X antibody in its trade in play, you may delete one of your open Digimon without X antibody in its trade instead. So it basically is a 5 cost instant delete, but you must have the main boss monster for X antibody on the field to even activate its effect. Because I mean you can just kill a play cost 6 or less, but you do really want to play towards the deleting your opponent Digimon. Next, we do have Calling from the Darkness. Delete one of your Digimon and then return up to 2 purple Digimon from your trash to your hand. And I must say this is pretty nice because it will allow you to cycle decks, cycle through cards, something like Lilithmon Loom and all. So this is definitely have potential, I would say. Next, we do have Schwartz the Schwartz. So basically for each Digimon with Hybrid in its trait and Tamer, you have in play delete one of your opponent Digimon level 5 or lower Digimon. Honestly, I'm not too sure how well you will play towards a Tamer in purple because the Tamer cards doesn't seem too good yet. But we never know, So this card might have potential. Next is definitely the Dead or Alive, which is the benefit, the support for Lucemon. So the main is to play one purple level 5, Digimon card from your trash without paying memory cost, and actually can activate the on play effect, so something to take note. But if you have 10 cards or more in your trash, you can actually play one Digimon card with Lucemon in its name without paying its memory cost instead. So the Lucemon we'll be talking about will be this one, but we'll talk about this first, the Evolution Ancient. So if you have Digimon and Hybrid in its trait in play, you may use this option card without meeting its color requirements, so basically making it quite option friendly, so you don't have to play white Tamers or anything like that. So it allows your level 4 Digimon to digivolve to your level 6 in this case, ignoring its Digivolution cost. Ignoring its level requirements. So basically you still have to pay for the 5 memory, which is usually the memory to pay for the 10 warriors. This might work pretty well if your deck is playing towards a level 6, but I'm not too sure yet how you will form a deck revolving around this. So next, one of the most hyped card in the set, which is the Lucemon Chaos Mode. Now, this you can evolve to your Lucemon with a memory cost of 7, but usually you won't actually even do that because you don't want to hard play it or even use the spell to actually call it back. Even though it does have a 14 hardcore cost, you actually can reduce 3 costs of it for every 10 kind of drop zone, so it can potentially hit a potential of let me guess, 2 memory? Yeah, if you do have 40 cards in drop zone, but by that time you actually almost die. When Digivolving or rather on play, you can actually delete one of your opponent Tamer or level 6 or low Digimon, but the Tamer effect destruction is what you're playing towards to because of this meta whereby everyone is going to play Tamers. Last but not least is the Susanomon, and Susanomon is just cool looking, but its effect is quite, I'll say, weird. So you can actually digivolve this card from your hand onto one of your Tamers as if the Tamer is a level 6 Digimon by placing 10 Tamer cards and or cards with hybrid their traits from your hand or trash to the bottom of your deck in any order. So basically it's a last resort kind of thing. And don't note that it's 7 costs to actually evolve. It does have security attack +2, so if your opponent doesn't actually ignore, or whether they ignore this, they actually have to face a 3 crit Digimon swinging at their face. And it does have a very nice Digivoid effect to actually delete one of your opponent Digimon, similarly to Omimon. So this can compare to Omimon, but I would say this card does have more flexibility, but you do have to play towards the high hybrid / Tamer count decks. Thank you guys for watching till the end, and do consider subscribing, dropping a like and a comment if you guys do enjoy the content.